In this video, we got another episode of the series where I rate and improve your guys' teams. You guys will send me your teams on Twitter at X7Tanaka, and I'll give you guys my best suggestions to help improve your squad and a rating out of 10. So if you guys also want to let me know your guys' squad and MT amount in the YouTube comment section down below, let me know your guys' team and make sure you guys put how much MT you guys have, and I'll give you guys my best suggestions. So looking at the first squad here of the video, coming in from Nelson, he's got about 560,000 MT, and overall looking to be a very solid squad. I would say for the rating out of 10, this is looking to be probably an 8.5 to maybe 9 out of 10. I like Ben Simmons, GP as your point guards. I think those are obviously guys you want to keep on your lineup. For me, I'm not the biggest fan of your power forwards with Josh Smith and Blake Griffin, so that'd be the main spot that I would work on upgrading. So for your two power forwards, I mean, if you want to spend a decent amount of MT, I would say definitely get a guy like Jokic. He's around 100,000 and not going to be too expensive for that power forward position. And then for your backup, if you want to go for maybe a little bit cheaper, like a Bob Nedelecki, and move James Wiseman to the backup 5, that's what I would personally do, is get Bob Nedelecki for the backup 4 alongside the James Wiseman, and then go Jokic and Dino on your starting lineup. For your two small forwards, I would probably move Cameron Reddish to your shooting guard, sell Jaylen Brown, and then you can run Reddish and RJ as your two shooting guards. And then for your starting small forward, I would probably go with Jonathan Isaac. Now, you might not have the most offense on this starting lineup, and that could be definitely something you look to upgrade. Maybe start GP over Ben Simmons and then bring Ben off the bench, just because GP does bring you a little bit more offense. But I would definitely get Jonathan Isaac for that starting small forward spot, and then you can maybe look to upgrade backup center with James Wiseman. Go ahead and maybe upgrade to a pink diamond D-Rob if you wanted to. There's not really too many great centers in the game that you could buy, but maybe upgrade to a guy like a pink diamond D-Rob. But all around, looking to be a very good squad. I think your 10-man could look something like, let's say, Gary Payton, Ben Simmons, Cameron Reddish, RJ Barrett. Two small forwards would be Jonathan Isaac and MPJ. Two power forwards, Jokic and Bob Nedelecki. And then two centers, let's say Dino and D-Rob. I think those are some amazing centers, amazing cards all around. And overall, that is a really, really good team. But looking at the next squad here, coming in from Ross Carey, I just probably mispronounced his name, but he says he's going to buy Bosch for the lock and ward. He needs help figuring out who to play at what position, I guess. And I don't know if I buy Yao or going with the lock in Reem and improve my team with the card of this set. And if I lock in Reem, who should I play in my team? So he's got 2.7 million MT, and he does have a really, really good squad. So he has a lot of upgrades to be made, even though his team is pretty solid. I would say like a solid 9, maybe 9.5 out of 10. You obviously do have that duo and Magic Johnson, which is really cool. I would say for me personally, what I would do right away is I would move Ray Allen to the backup 2, and then just move Scottie Pippen to the backup 3. I think honestly your 1 through 3 will be good then. I like your power forwards with Moses and Kevin Garnett. It really just comes down to your center position, and what I would do personally is not even worry about a guy like Cream. Just go ahead and get yourself Galaxy Opal Yao Ming. That's what I would do personally. He's only about 700 to 800,000 MT, at least somewhere in that range, maybe even a little bit cheaper nowadays. You can get him for your starting center spot, and then I would also maybe look to get a Kristaps or a Dark Matter D-Rob. What I'm saying is you can get a Yao Ming and let's say a Kristaps, right, to be your two centers, and that will only cost you like, let's say 1.2 or let's say 1.4, right, just to be very conservative. Let's say you spend 1.4 on your two centers. That's going to cost you less than locking in for Kareem. And if you lock in for Kareem, now you can't sell any of those cards back. If you want to sell Yao or Kristaps, they're probably going to hold their value for a good amount of time, especially Yao Ming, so you can always sell them back and try to accumulate as much MT back as possible. So what I would do is get Yao Ming for your starting center spot, and then get Kristaps or D-Rob for the backup 5. And other than that, I think your squad is perfect, with a guy like Pippen at the 3. You can maybe upgrade that to a Jonathan Isaac if you wanted to, and then like I said, Ray Allen at the backup 2. You can maybe look for a Vince Carter if you want to, or make that crazy upgrade to a Dark Matter T-Mac. But all around, a really, really good squad. I would say after you make those suggestions, you'll have one of the better teams in my team. But looking at the next squad here, coming in from Wolves fan, he's got 200,000 MT, and he is willing to spend all of it to upgrade his squad. But talking about the rating out of 10 first, I would say another decent team. I'd say 8.5 out of 10. A very well-rounded squad. I think there's really no holes, no like big upgrades you need to make. For me personally, 200,000 MT you can't do like a crazy amount with. I would probably move James Wiseman to the backup 5, and then honestly, you know what you could do is you can move Dino to the backup 5, have Dino and D-Rob be your two centers, and then maybe look for two power forwards, like a guy like a not James Wiseman, sorry, like a Bob Nedelecki or Jokic. That's probably what I would do personally, is I'd probably start Jokic, have Dino off the bench, and then run Bob, so you could have a backup bench of Bob Nedelecki and Dino Raja as your backup front court, and then for your starting front court, you can have Jokic and D-Rob. That's probably what I would do, because other than that, I don't really see too many upgrades. I like your point guards, your shooting guards are good, your small forwards are good. So it really just comes down to upgrading your front court. With 200,000 MT, there's not really that many great budget power forwards in the game. Unless I'm like absolutely missing somebody, I would just try to get Jokic for the power forward position, and then maybe move Dino to the backup 5. Do something like that with your front court. But all around, a really good squad. Next team here coming in from BM4, he's got about 400,000 MT and another decent squad. I would say like another 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'd say like around 8.5, maybe like 8.3, 8.7, somewhere in that range, maybe in the middle there at 8.5. So looking at the squad though, I think with 400,000 MT, there is some decent upgrades you could make. Once again, there's not too many great centers to go with, so what I would do is go with Dino at your backup 5 or start him over D-Rob. Doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, actually what I would do is start Dino at the 5 and then get Jokic. I think Jokic is a really good power forward, especially for his price tag. So your front court once again can be a Jokic and a Dino, and then off the bench it can be Bob Nedelecki and David Robinson. For your two small forwards, I would 1000% get Jonathan Isaac. He's only about 65,000-70,000 MT, and he'll be an amazing small forward to start over Rudy Gay, and then you can use Rudy Gay as your backup small forward. So right now you have your small forward good, your power forwards are good, and then your centers will be good. And then for your two shooting guards, I would actually move Pippen to the bench to pair alongside Russ, because you need a good defender and a guy that's super tall at the shooting guard spot to put next to a guy like Russell Westbrook. And then for your starting two, you need a guy with a little bit more offense, because you have Jonathan Isaac, you have Gary Payton, so you need somebody that's going to be your ball handler, guy that can score the ball. And the perfect shooting guard for that is the Galley Chip of Vince Carter, who is really good next to a Gary Payton and a Jonathan Isaac. So your 10-man rotation could look something like this: 2 point guards, Gary and Russ; 2 shooting guards, Vince Carter and Scottie Pippen; 2 small forwards, Jonathan Isaac, Rudy Gay; 2 power forwards, Jokic, Bob; and then 2 centers, Dino and D-Rob. I think honestly that is a really good 10-man lineup. That will be a huge upgrade to your squad, and all around won't take that much MT to really upgrade. Next squad here though, coming in from MD, he's got 290,000 MT to improve the squad, and he's looking for a better fit at small forwards. For this squad, you do have Yao Ming, so obviously that's going to be really nice to have, and that obviously will boost your rating just because you have the Yao Ming. I would say your rest of your squad is decent but not like amazing, so I'd say all around, just because you have Yao, you got Billy Knight, Gary Payton, I would say probably like a 9 out of 10. You do need a lot of help at that small forward position, so what I would do personally is look for a guy like Jonathan Isaac and Rudy Gay. I think those two small forwards are just way better than Pink Diamond Braun and way better than Giannis. That will cost you about just over 100,000 MT, so now you have about like another 100,000 MT, maybe 200,000 MT to spend. What I would personally do is look for a better backup 5, whether it's a Wiseman, a Pink Diamond D-Rob, if you want to grind for a Candyman, even a Chet, you want to lock in for Kessler. There's a bunch of different centers to go with. I would personally go with Wiseman or Pink Diamond D-Rob at that backup 5 spot. And then other than that, I think you could maybe look to get a guy like Scottie Pippen to play over Dr. J, because like I said, you want to have that tall shooting guard that's going to be a very good defender. You want to have that type of guy next to Russell Westbrook. So I think for you, I would go, Gary Payton, Russell Westbrook as your 2 point guards. Your 2 shooting guards will be Billy Knight and Pippen. Your 2 small forwards will be Jonathan Isaac and Rudy Gay. Power forwards stay the same, and then Yao Ming and Pink Diamond D-Rob. Once again, that 10-man rotation is a lot better than the current squad you have, and overall, those would be my best suggestions to help improve your team. But looking at the next squad here, coming in from Curry season, he's gonna have about 130,000 MT when some of his cards sell, and then he's chilling but open to any suggestions. So another decent team. Not really the biggest fan of your bench. I mean, it's a solid bench, but I would say his team is probably like an 8 to 8.5. I mean, Sullinger, I'm not sure how good of a power forward he really is. If you have just over 100,000 MT, I would say it's not like too many upgrades you can make on this squad. If you wanted just to make one upgrade, what I would do is probably start Vince Carter, like get Vince Carter, start him at the 2, and then just move Scottie Pippen to the bench. I think if you just make that one upgrade, I think your squad does become a lot better. I don't think there's really too many upgrades you can make with the amount of MT, so if you want to save up and try to make some bigger upgrades, you can obviously ask me questions, when you get more MT. But for right now, if you wanted to make one upgrade, I would say probably just get Vince Carter at the starting 2. Like I said, he's really good next to a Jonathan Isaac and a Gary Payton, and then you can bring Pippen off the bench, who will be really good with Rudy Gay and Ben Simmons at the 1 and the 3. But all around, I think already is a pretty good squad. Next team here, coming in from Felix, he really likes the Mikal base, so I'm less likely to move MPJ and Mikal Bridges. Other than that, I'm not the best at dribbling, so I'm not picky with dribble 6. Okay, so he likes guys that are probably just good defensively or tall, have, I guess, the Mikal Bridges base he likes a lot. For me personally, I would say his team's probably another 8.5 out of 10. A very well constructed squad, nothing too crazy bad at any position. I would say for me, you really want to upgrade that JD McDaniels. You have about 68,000 MT. so maybe like 70k. Can't make too many upgrades with that, but what I would do personally is move MPJ to the 3, get rid of Jaden McDaniels, and then just get Bob Nedelecki, a guy who still has an amazing jump shot, has really good defensive stats and badges, playing next to a guy like Candyman, who's a really tall center. And I feel like once you do that, your squad is perfectly fine if you want to keep Mikal Bridges on the team. So yeah, I would just move MPJ to the backup 3, get Bob Nedelecki at the 4, and I think you're pretty much good to go. Looking at the next squad here, though, coming in from Michael, this is going to be the last team here of the video. He's about 265,000 MT, and he just replaced, or just got AD, or just sold AD and replaced him with Blake. So you got Blake Griffin at your 4 now. I would say for this team's rating, probably like another 8 to 8.5. I'm not personally the biggest fan of Shaq and Mark Eden, but I'm assuming you like inside bigs. Me personally, I would try to get like a Pink Diamond D-Rob and a Pink Diamond Wiseman. I think both those guys are a lot better than Mark Eden and Shaq. That's just what I would do personally. And then for like your shooting guards, I would look to get Vince Carter off the bench instead of a Klay Thompson. And then for your point guard position, I would definitely get Gary Payton. So your backup point guard can be GP, and then your backup 2 can be Vince Carter. Other than that, though, if you want to keep your 2 centers, that's perfectly okay if you like the inside bigs. But other than that, if you're not going to upgrade those guys, then I would get Vince Carter for the backup 2, and then I would get Gary Payton for the backup 1. And you can honestly just swap, you know, Ben Simmons and Gary, and then swap Vince Carter and Pippen, and start GP and Vince next to a guy like Giannis, and then have Ben, Pippen, and Jonathan Isaac off the bench just to have, you know, just pure defense, and overall have Yee and then Shaq at the 5. So that's what I would do personally. But all around, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Like I said earlier, let me know in the comment section down below your guys' team and MT amount, and I'll let you guys know what are my best suggestions to help improve your squad. But hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.